Hi there, virtual passengers. Captain Keller speaking, and welcome to a nice balmy evening in Freetown in Africa, Western Africa. So I've been over the last sort of year since I've had the flight sim. I've had an idea to do a round the world tour in a Cessna 172. So it is a low and slow, and I'm currently on leg 51. So we're going to be doing a short trip today from Freetown down to Bonthe. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I've already done all of Europe and, well, most of Europe. So I'll be going back into Europe when I get around the other side of Africa. So I thought I would also record these flights and let you have a look at these as well. Certainly be flying in some areas that I've never flown in before. So I've gone for late evening now because it's pitch black actually in Africa at this time of the day. So and that would just be a boring flight. So I have just brought the time back to about 6:30. So as I say, we're flying in a Cessna 172 from Freetown to Bonthe. I've already had a look at the winds for today, and we'll be taking off from runway 30, and then the winds are coming in from the west as well at Bonthe, so we'll make sure that we pick the best runway for that. Cruising altitude today will be about 3,000 feet because we're heading roughly in an easterly direction, well, a southeasterly direction. The rules are that you pick an odd number, so we'll be doing 3,000 and then you add 500, so we'll be cruising at about 3,500 feet. And the plane itself is relatively easy to set up compared to an airliner, obviously, and I will be using my head tracking software again today, so hopefully you'll enjoy the flight, and let me know down in the comments whether you like these shorter flights around the world. See if you want me to continue recording them or not as the fire truck leaves, so that's a good start. Yeah, so just let me know down in the comments what you think. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and will greatly help the channel. And if you enjoy the video today or any of my other videos, please feel free to like them. So without further ado, let's go into the aircraft and start setting it up. Now, there's no point me showing you a Navigraph charts because there aren't any really. There's one for the runway for where we are now, but there are no charts for where we're landing today in Bonthe. So my initial thoughts are that it's going to be a grass runway, so that's going to make life a little bit interesting. I'm not even worrying with Sim Toolkit Pro or SimBrief either. It's literally going to be a direct flight today. When we get towards Bonthe, we'll make sure that we're going to be landing at the right runway. If we have to circle round to the right runway, then we will do that, and then hopefully we'll put it down on the floor quite nicely. Haven't flown any of these routes for about 6 months, and I certainly haven't flown the Cessna for a while, so it's certainly going to be an interesting flight for us all. So, say runway 30, so basically I'm going to go out of here, taxi pretty much straight ahead, turn left, go all the way to the end of the runway, turn around and then take off. So let's go ahead and start getting the aircraft set up. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is just check the brakes are working. Yep, the brakes are working good, that's fine. Excellent. I'm not going to be using head tracking today because the battery's gone flat on it, so I've got that charging up. So as we go back through the checklist, set the parking brake, that's set, check all the circuit breakers, none are popped, no. Ensure the fuel cut-off switch is on, it is, because you pull it to turn it off, push it to turn it on, and both fuel tanks are selected. Next thing we need to do is open the throttle 1/4 of an inch, so let's do that now. That's probably about 1/4 of an inch. Excellent. And then pull the fuel mixture fully out, which is this one here. Pull that all the way out. And then turn on the battery test for 20 seconds. So I'll come back to you after I've done the test. Yeah, good. Battery test was all okay. Everything was green. So turn the battery to arm. That will start to fire up everything. And then we just need to check the bussy should be at 24 volts. Yeah, and the M bus should be below 1.5 volts, which it is, so that's good. So we can now turn on the master switch, alternator and battery. We'll also turn on the beacon light. And we will turn on the fuel pump. And then after the fuel pump, we slowly push in the fuel mixture lever. Yeah. Leave for 3 to 5 seconds and then pull it fully out. Okay, Turn off the fuel pump. I'm going to put a little bit of fuel mixture in there just so it starts up nicely, and now we'll start the engine. And the engine has started. As you can see, yeah, well, you can't see the propeller because it's spinning so fast, that's good. Turn on both avionics buses. And I'm going to put in the flight plan, so it won't take me long actually to put the flight plan in, so you guys can watch me do it if you like. So origin today is, origin for today is Freetown, which is GFLL. GFLL. That's good. And we're taking off from runway 30. Okay, so that's fine, that's done. And our destination is GFBN. So GFBN. Bonthe, yeah. And we are going to use runway as pointing, oh, it's going to be runway 34. Because 16 is going to give me a tailwind to land. So, or will it? No, they'll both give me a crosswind. Let's do runway 16. Okay. And that's done. So that's the flight plan all entered. We're going to cheat slightly, and let's push the range out to 75 miles, that's fine. We can cheat slightly and press B, that will give us the right pressure setting. Good. Okay, so that's all done and dusted. The engine is nicely running, and now we can go. So, beacon light is on, taxi light is on. Just check to make sure that the throttle's moving. Yeah, good, okay. Tow brakes on, parking brake off. Let's just give it a bit of a boost, and I will see you when we're holding short at the runway ready for takeoff. See you soon. Bye-bye. Welcome back, virtual passengers. We're now holding short of the runway. I did quite a fast taxi up, so yeah, managed to get here relatively quickly. So we're just going to go through the final checks now, make sure the plane is ready for takeoff. So put flaps to stage 1. I can see in the shadows that it's going down. I'll tell you what, it's amazing how much you miss your head tracking when it's not working. Let's set our cruising altitude to 3,500 feet. And we're going to get there on what they call a flight level change. So we're going to climb at a constant 85 knots or 88 knots, which is the best climbing speed for this particular aircraft. And you can see here our VR speed today is 55 knots, so we don't have to be going too fast before we take off. So without further ado, the aircraft is now ready to go. Fuel is on rich, flaps 1, no throttle. Let's turn off the parking brake, give it a bit of throttle, get lined up on the runway to take off. There we go. Now, because we're going to be landing on runway 16 today, we should be able to do a straight in. So as long as I get the right altitude, so find out the elevation of the runway, and basically I'll set the autopilot to 1,000 feet above that. And then I'll guide it in myself after that. So we're going to have a crosswind from the left on takeoff, but it's going to be from crosshead, so it's not quite so bad. Let's just set the autopilot up for nav. Good. Okay. And without further ado, let's go. Quite a lot of right rudder. A lot of right rudder. Speed tape's alive at 30 knots, 35, 40, 50 knots, rotate. That's us up in the air, and we are climbing. Get outside of 85 knots, and then I will turn off bring the flaps up. Good. Okay, we're climbing up nicely, so we'll keep on runway heading. And then as soon as we've hit runway heading, or as soon as we've passed the runway, beautiful sunset in the background, we're going to bank left. So let's have a quick look. There you go, look at that. Beautiful. So guys, I want you to sit back, enjoy the cruise, watching the sunset. It'll be to our back when we land. And I'll see you on our final descent. Enjoy the flight. Welcome back, virtual passengers. I don't know, well, I hope you enjoyed the cruise for a start. Nice little sunset cruise. I don't know if you remember me saying right at the beginning, I think it's going to be a grass runway. Yeah, I was right. It's basically there. So I'm just about to set the first stage of flaps. Just give it a bit more throttle. Keep the speed up. And then I'm going to take the autopilot off. So I've basically got a block crosswind, which is going to be interesting. So I need to use pitch to control speed, and I need to use throttle to control descent. So I'm just making sure I'm not climbing. I'm just getting my speed back up again to about 70 knots. And it's a very strong crosswind, so I'm not sure how this landing is going to go, but hey ho, I'm staying on the autopilot for as long as I possibly can, probably until I reach that river in front of me, and then I'm going to take over. But still checking out the runway, it's there, so the wind should blow me over towards it. I've just got to keep my speed at about 70 knots and make sure I'm not climbing anywhere until I hit that river. Then I'll turn the autopilot off and then I'll start to do it myself. So if I do go quiet during the landing, I do apologise. It's not meant, but unfortunately I'm going to need to concentrate on this one, I think. So autopilot off, my plane. Okay, so let's just check. Put second stage of flaps down. Start banking over towards the left a little bit now. Okay, and we're climbing, so I need to drop the throttle. Pitch to control speed, throttle to control reduction in altitude. I need to be landing at about 55 knots. So don't be alarmed if you do hear a stall warning as I come into land. That is totally normal because you're supposed to get it to pretty much stall speed as you hit the floor. Right, that's it. That's my last stage of flaps down. Dropping nicely, speed is good. Wind is coming in from the right, so I've just got to watch these trees at the front of the runway. 70 knots, good speed still, probably a little bit fast actually. Start to reduce the speed, reduce the throttle. Full flaps. Putting the nose in towards the wind. And to the left a little bit, the wind's not gusting quite as hard as I thought it was going to be. kill throttle, float in, a little bit of a flare, and we're down. Left rudder. A lot of left rudder, bit of left braking, and I'm going to park in front of the house there. So hopefully you enjoyed that flight. I'm going to put the replays of the landing and the takeoff up at the end of the video. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that short flight across a little bit of West Africa. As I said at the beginning of the video, if you do enjoy it, please feel free to leave a like. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more legs. There are hundreds of legs to do because I am only doing short flights like that where I can fit in an evening, maybe over an hour or so. So yeah, there's certainly plenty of these to come, and there'll be some wonderful parts of the world to see as well. Parts of the world that I've not been to, and hopefully parts of the world that you've not been to either. But we should have a nice sunset. If we have a look over to, oh, not that way, yep, there's the sunset through the trees. Just a bit of throttle just to get the aircraft off the grass. And we'll park up in front of the building for the night. So thanks for joining me, and as I say, hopefully you'll enjoy the replays when they come up in just a minute, but there we go. Excellent, so that's us parked up. Parking brake on, throttle off. Oh, no, sorry, no, fuel mixture off, sorry. That could have been embarrassing. Batteries off. Fuel cutoff switch off. And that's it. A completely shut down plane with a nice West African sunset. Take care, guys. Until the next time. Bye-bye.